Hi. So, number one, Phantasm 5.
Phantasm 5. I thought Phantasm 4 wrapped it up pretty well. But listen, thanks for asking. You know, I've been getting that question a few times in the publicity here on John Dies, and I think that my first response is that how many Phantasm movies can one person make in a lifetime? And I'm thinking 4 is not too bad. But then again, it seems like the fans are so freaking passionate about seeing more, and they also don't seem to want to have it be a remake, and they want to get, you know, drag Angus out and get Reggie Bannister and Mike Baldwin back. And then, by the way, all those guys are looking great, and I thought Angus did a really nice job with his role as a priest here. And I'm gonna relay exactly what just went down to him next week when I talk to him, and he'll really appreciate that he got applause when I just mentioned his scene. So, thanks for that. All right.
Has anyone come to you about a remake idea? Is that
it seems to surface from time to time when the movies, you know, the remakes are successful, because they seem to always make money, even if they don't turn out that well. It's one of those things that's, I don't know, we had one opportunity, but it just didn't seem right. I don't know, sometimes I worry, because the thing is that there are some great movies that really impacted me when I was younger. And case in point would be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which, you know, it was an amazing experience when I saw that movie. I saw it in a sub-run in a theater, and there were like 5 other people, and I didn't know any of them. We became friends by the end of the movie, because it was so terrifying. But then, you know, the problem is nowadays, you see the TV log, and you're going through and see Texas Chainsaw Massacre's on, you know, and you flip the channel, and then it's one of the remakes, you know. And so I don't know how it impacts. But in any case, I guess I'm just waiting for the right price to sell out. If it's high enough, yeah, there'll be one.
Where is it? Halfway up.
Assuming things are still green lit for the Boba Hotep Nosferatu, can we be expecting Bruce Campbell to reprise the role of Elvis?
I'd like you to ask Bruce that question, all right? He's coming here soon, right?
I don't want to say too much. You might have a chance later this year to ask him that question.
Yeah, you ask him. Get him to sign on. We'll make the movie.
That was, I mean, I don't want to tell tales out of school, but that was kind of the sticking point for the
Yeah,
sequel.
you know, we were locked and loaded and ready to go, and he decided not to participate. But, you know, he had a big TV series he was just starting up on, and, you know, he was prepping the My Name is Bruce, so he had a lot of things going on, and just didn't work out at the time. But look, I think a sequel would be great if it all came together. And look, as much as anybody out there, appreciate the power and brilliant talent of Bruce Campbell. There is just like nobody like him anywhere.
We got Giamatti lined up, so. All right, we got many hands up here in the front. There we go.
I was just wondering, why did you go with Barkley instead of Molly?
You know, the interesting question, and it's amazing how the biggest criticism I've gotten has been about the name change on the dog. You know, when I first came out with the movie, I thought, oh Christ, you know, they're gonna kill me because we didn't go to Las Vegas, that big sequence, you know, or the dancing like, and a lot of folks are very curious about that. And it has a very simple answer. It was not any kind of an attempt to infringe on David Wong's turf in any way, shape, or form. It was just that I found this dog who was really gorgeous, and it was a one-off kind of unique dog that, and I knew the guy who owned it, and asked him if we could use it in the film, and he was a mutt, and he was, you know, we never did. I don't even know what breed he is, but in any case, the operating factor there is he was a boy. And his name was Barkley. And you know, I've worked with a few animals before, and you know, you gotta use every possible trick. And the best one is when you say the dog's name, he will respond. So, it probably looks like I was trying to make some sort of creative impact, but it was really a technical choice to aid in the dog's performance. And the dog, by the way, really did enjoy working on the movie, and I'm told that he's looking for other roles.
I just had a question. I am a super nerd, and so I'm really curious what kind of equipment you used to shoot the film.
Oh, that's a good question. It's my first movie shot 100% digital. And it has its advantages and it has its disadvantages. When we made the movie, we used what's now an older camera, which is called the Red 1. And the thing weighs a freaking ton. You know, because when I made the decision we would go in this direction, I was thinking, oh, this is going to be like, you know, like a handy-cam movie, and we can whip the camera around and grab it and run around. But the thing's as big as an old school 35, and you know, it's made out of iron. And I thought that we did get this upgraded MX processor, which I think was really helpful. But the other downside is these files are super huge, you know, so the editing is not all that easy because there are a lot of workflows you got to get, you know, to get your material into the system and all of that. Now, whether it's good or bad, I don't know. I'm a little on the fence. I will tell you that it doesn't matter because the film is gone. It's going away. Even those, you know, old school directors with big, gigantic budgets, I think another year from now, there won't even be any labs. So it's just going to be gone. So something we have to deal with. But the one thing that's very interesting is in the color correction, when you use this digital system with the Red, with this MX processor, you have so much latitude in terms of changing the image in color correction that, you know, you don't when you're doing the old school film color grading process. And that part of it I found to be, and the other thing that's magnificent about it for somebody like me is that you're able to do like little digital move-ins and you can reposition. And this sounds like crazy, but the thing is that like, you know, if like he didn't have enough headroom in a shot, you can zoom in a little and push up and give him headroom, and it's like you can redesign every shot and make it look great. And that part I love. But anyway, thanks for that question.
Hi, it's kind of a two-part question. I know, first part, you like to cast a lot of unknown actors, so may I audition for your next movie? The follow-up is, seriously, may I?
You've prepared something, yes? Come on up. Let's go. The only other actor we have is Chess, so he'll be happy to play. Let's do a scene. Come on, guys. All right. We're allowing about 90 seconds for questions, so let's do it.
Okay, so,
Give you the dialogue too? Let's see.
nothing prepared. It's
a terrible audition.
It is one of those terrible auditions.
Not doing well, sir.
So just all kidding aside, so what's your background?
I have a bachelor's degree in theater arts from Goucher College. I've done close to 30 plays, several, about a dozen or 10 or a dozen student films, internet videos, 3.5 years of improvisation.
That sounds like a great background. So, what do you think? Did he pass? All right. Remember, the only problem is I make a movie about every 5 years. So sometime in about 2017, I'll call you and have a reading. What do you say? Just and to any other aspiring actors out there, and we're not doing any more auditions, but I just wanted to say that it's one of the most difficult careers paths to take, because you just have to be ready for so much rejection. I mean, you have to go interview after interview after interview, and people can be very dismissive. And I have very many friends who are actors, and they have a hard time not being bitter from this experience that they have to go through, hoping for that break to happen. And truthfully, it only happens for a very small fraction. So the hard truth is that's what you have facing you. But best of luck. And after the show, give me the card, and we'll make it happen.
You got the
Yeah. Paul, nice to meet you. All right, Paul. Good performance, Paul.
Next. Hi, Steve. You know, I'm curious because you wrote Phantasm, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That is correct.
But then, as you moved on to do Bubba Hotep, and which of course is by the great Joe Lansdale,
Yes.
and this, you're adapting somebody else's material. Do you have a preference at this point? And the weird thing is, of course, all three of those are sort of similar stories in that they're all very weird. A lot of disparate plot elements and fantasy, dark, horror, sci-fi. Is that something you look for in a story?
I guess, obviously, now that you've linked them all together. Yeah, there are elements. You know, that was one of the weirdest experiences when I was talking to David Wong about arranging a deal to get the rights to make this movie, is he said to me, you know, you're perfect for this movie because your other movie, it was just like, it's almost the exact same story as John Dies at the End with the two characters and the evil thing. And I said, yeah, it's a lot like Phantasm. He says, no, I meant Bubba Hotep. I was thinking, yeah, I guess he's right. There's a mummy and JFK and Elvis. I don't know. As far as adapting material, it's sure a lot easier. Certainly with Bubba Hotep, it was a very short novel. For aspiring filmmakers out there who want to adapt material, look for a novella and don't get a big fat novel. It's so much harder. You know, I read both of those stories, especially Bubba Hotep, and you know, I would show it to friends, and they'd go, "Don, what are you smoking? You can't make a movie out of this. You got to put some young kids in there somehow. People are not going to want to sit through a movie with two old geezers in a rest home." You know, and yet every time I'd read the story, I'd go, "God, this has so much soul to it." The story would make me tear up at the end when JFK. Oh, excuse me. In any case, I love that story, and you know, certainly with that movie, I'd like to take a little credit in the fact that from the get-go, I was going to give the audience credit, and one of the great joys of Bubba Hotep was when you know, the black T-shirt wearing Evil Dead fans and Phantasm fans seemed, you know, in their 18 to 25 years old, could embrace and enjoy the movie, and they didn't need young people. I think what it takes us to the point where we can really realize that, you know, many of the typical Hollywood movies they put out, they just really don't. They look down on the audience, and they don't give them much credit. I mean, there's a lot of challenging movies coming out, but there's a lot of stuff that's nonsense. Anyhow, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, we got time for a couple more here, I think, before we over there on the wall.
Hello. How you doing up there?
Just great. It's so nice to be with these Chicagoans. Great horror fans here. By the way, I give a shameless plug. One of my favorite horror conventions here is Flashback Weekend. I love that convention. I hope the creators of that will invite me back one day.
Remember that thing?
And maybe they'll bring Ches back.
Oh yeah. Remember that thing I was saying about Bruce Campbell maybe coming back? Okay, just put two things together. Yeah. All right. Yes. Question.
Yeah. Okay. So jumping back to the film that we just saw, it was kind of touched on with, you know, Molly to Barkley, and they talked about online too about, you know, the cost of CGing out a dog's penis. So the changing of Robert North to Roger North, how much did that have to do with Doug Jones's penis?
You know, it had nothing to do with his penis. But what it did have to do was there was already a very important Robert in the movie, which was Robert Marley. We were very lucky to have the real Bob Marley in the film. And there were so many Robert this, Robert that I just thought, I'm just going to have to change it to another R first name so people don't get confused. Maybe on the page that's okay, but you know, sometimes in the movie theater, I just felt that it was a simple couple letter change, but it had nothing to do with his private parts.
All right, makes sense.
Thanks.
One other quick one.
Sure.
Any reason why no wigs on the wig monsters?
In the design of the creatures, we did try something like that, and it just looked like we just stuck a fake wig on it, and it didn't feel organic. I think if we had a bigger budget and been able to do a totally digital creature, I'm sure we could have made that look awesome. But that was one that we did just completely with a puppeted thing, and so the hair had to go, I'm sorry to say.
I think we got time for one more, and then we'll sort of go right into introducing Baba Hotep. Who's next? Who's the showstopper?
Hi.
Hello?
As an artist and a filmmaker, what sort of films are coming out in the near future that you're looking forward to seeing or that you're interested in?
Oh, as an artist and a filmmaker, oh yeah, Big Ass Spider.
Yeah! Seriously, if you haven't seen the trailer for Big Ass Spider, it's on Ain't It Cool, it's on Twitch. I know it's, oh my God.
No, I mean, look, I'm always waiting for my contemporaries like Spielberg and Scorsese's next films. But, no, truthfully, the ones that I'm waiting for is the next John Carpenter film. I'd like to figure out a way to get him, well, I wouldn't say get him motivated. What we need to do is to get somebody in the freaking Hollywood upper echelons to respect the guy and, give him the money that he deserves. So, thank you for that question. I guess is that all?
Do you want to say anything about Baba Hotep, just by way of introduction?
Yeah.
Who hasn't seen it yet? Is there anybody? Wow.
Oh, good.
Cool. All right. Don't leave.
Well, I guess I would say if you're going to see one Elvis versus a Mummy movie this year, this is the one.
Don, thank you so much for coming and talking to us. Thank you all.